Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today. Just outside of Bay Island in Newport Beach, and the tide is incredibly high today. And we've got experts stepping forward predicting a major economic calamity globally. And going to cover that, going to cover the Fed yesterday, and everything else in the economy right now. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Private Internet Access, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Now, first things first, Anne Pettifor is a British economist. And you can say, that's no big deal. What Anne did, Anne predicted the 2008 financial crisis globally. She predicted that the real estate bubble was going to happen and that the banks were going to be a problem because they started it. And right now, what she is saying is that we're about to see something worse than what we saw in 2008. What she's predicting is that global debt is killing the masses. It's killing the little guy. It's killing you and I, where the upper class, the rich people, are, they're going to live large, guys. They're going to get taken care of. They're going to be, you know, bailed out, like we just saw a week and a half ago with Silicon Valley Bank. But she says this is going to be a class war, is what we're going to have economically, and people need to understand this and get ready for it. But both stories that she is involved in are in the video description below, and they're both worth reading. But the thing about this that makes a lot of sense is when you look at where we're at monetarily with finances, with lending, it's a mess right now, guys. It's an absolute mess. Jerome Powell steps forward and the Fed raises interest rates by 1/4 point. Between you and I, they did that to save face. It wasn't done for any other reason other than the fact that he basically had to do it. Now, think about this. They offer forward guidance. They give us a description of basically what they're going to do, but then what they do is once they have their meeting and they make the interest rate change, they line things out and change them. And as this was done live, they were talking about how, inflation. Now, remember 2%, we're going to get inflation down to 2%. Now they're hoping for 3.5% this year. Okay? Hope for free. I mean, it's ridiculous because it keeps changing. And one thing that's going to happen globally is it's going to be more expensive for everything right now. Everything in our lives are going to cost more. And you're seeing this in the auto industry. Between now and summer, your local auto dealers and auto parts store, auto sales lots, you're going to see a lot of them go out of business. Because one thing that I've investigated quite a bit, was kind of fascinating, is that most of these, car lots do not own their inventory. They finance the inventory. With everything going up and people not having the money to buy these cars, the cars are going to be repossessed. You're going to see these places go out of business right now. It is going to cost more money for absolutely everything, for real estate, for energy, for food, for absolutely everything. And Elizabeth Warren, who I'm really not a fan of, but she steps forward. She says, enough is enough. Jerome Powell needs to step down. He hasn't done anything for anybody that's of value, and everything he's done has been wrong. And we need him to step down. We need new leadership at the Fed. And, there's a lot of people that think the Fed should be gone and that we need to end the Fed. These guys weren't voted for. None of us voted for Jerome Powell or any of these other Lael Brainerd and Neil Kashkari and all the other people. None of us voted for. But they're running our lives right now completely. And the worst part about this is that we're seeing dramatic effects on business and on industry, mainly on real estate, which is going to destroy everything about this. But Ann Pettifor talking about how everything's going to go upside down is realistic. When you read her synopsis of what's going to happen in the economy, when it comes to lending, when it comes to the rich people being taken care of, it is outrageous that we're worried about our bank accounts, and each of us should be right now. We should be worried about getting ourselves into precious metals. We should be worried about how we're going to protect ourselves if something happens. And nobody cares about that. Oh well. you know, no big deal. But mark my words, everything's about to go up again, and they have not controlled inflation. They're not going to control inflation. So how do you guys feel about this? Think that we should get rid of the Fed right now and listen to Elizabeth Warren? Because, you know, again, one of the only things she's ever said that I truly believe in is this, because enough is enough with this guy. And everybody hangs on bated breath. What's he going to say? You know, is he going to freeze? It's ridiculous right now. JP Morgan has control of most of the world's metals. It was just found out that they had millions of pounds of nickel that they thought was nickel in their vaults, and it was stones. Unbelievable. You can't make this up, guys. Cannot make it up. Okay? I'm a firm believer in holding physical metals, and JP Morgan sets the price in most of this stuff. And these imbeciles had rocks in their vaults. And think about that. You think somebody would have stole silver, they would have sold gold, not nickel. But what it does, it asks the question, what else is missing? If nickel is missing, what else is missing? Don't you want to know that? Because I sure want to know that. So how about this one? A potential presidential candidate for 2024. What do you guys think of this one? Jamie Dimon. Oh my God. Isn't that funny? Let that sink in, okay? Think about this guy. He made $36 million in 2021 and was so mad that somebody else made $36 million. The board, he went to the board and made them give him a $500,000 raise so he could make $36,500,000 to be the highest paid banker in the industry. That's who we want as president of the United States, is that fat cat. East Coast, country club, clown, okay? Don't swear, Dan. Okay? Share your thoughts on this stuff so far, guys. But, you know, the quarter of a point, do you think it's a big deal? I want to know, do you think that a quarter of a point interest is something we should be concerned about, or is it a legitimate concern that everything is going up right now? Me, the beginning to the end, guys. They talked about May. Most likely in May, there will have to be another interest rate increase over them pausing it right now. And again, okay, you need to do a Volcker. You need to do it midstream. You need to do it next week, raise interest rates. That would be the greatest thing ever. You really want to control this? Do that. That would really put things in a different perspective for everybody, to say the least. Let's talk about our sponsor, Private Internet Access. You know, one thing that I do a lot is I am out in the public using Wi-Fi and my phones, my iPads, my computers in public places. I used to worry about this all the time, especially when I traveled, you know, with the internet and having people watch what I was doing. I don't worry about it anymore because I use Private Internet Access VPN. This is a virtual private network that basically gives my devices a tunnel of encryption that's unlike anything else in the industry. It's the #1 rated VPN by Forbes magazine, no less. And also, it is the iAllegedly product of the year for 2022. It's the single best thing that I have purchased last year. I use it every day. You can get, as an iAllegedly subscriber, you can get 83% off their regular price. And I want you to think about this. This is the simplest thing to install. There's no hardware. You basically push one button and your device is protected. But PIA did something for all my subscribers where it's unlimited. Now you can have as many devices on your account as you would like. So the entire family can be covered, your business, everything with one account. It's absolutely amazing. It is pennies a day to get this. It, again, is the best way to protect yourself when you go online and you log into your bank, you log into your pension, you log into your brokerage account. You need protection right now. The bad guys are out there. They are trying to get us every way they can. Think about this. Using a VPN, okay, is the best protection you can have. Without using a VPN, it's like walking into a crowded room with strangers and leaving your cell phone open for everybody to look at all your data. That's what it's like not using a VPN. Sign up today. Let them know that iAllegedly sent you. Use the link below. Save up to 83% off. It is, guys, pennies a day to do this. It is the single best thing that I use. I was in Vegas last week, was on the VPN the entire time. And again, no hardware, the simplest thing to do, but you have to have this to protect yourself, your family, and all your data. Check out private internet access today. Joseph always sends me stories, and he sent me one that hit home because it talked about nurses in New Jersey and how they surveyed 500 nurses in New Jersey to talk about work conditions and how unappreciated they were and how sick of the entire medical industry that they were, and how they asked, would you quit? 67% said that they would gladly leave doing what they were doing right now. Now, that is horrible, guys. It's so sad to think about this. You guys, who does all the work for the doctors? It's the nurses. They really do. Yes, the doctors are brilliant, and yes, they're needed. Men and women, la, 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 okay? But the nurses are the ones doing the heavy lifting in the office. And to hear a survey like this, it hits home because I have a friend of mine who's a cardiac nurse, and she has had this job since 1996. And she's very good at what she does, but she does the serious tests where they inject the dye in you and then they check your heart and all that stuff. She's doing serious stuff with these cardiac patients. They, in the last year, have doubled her workload. She does tests that basically take a patient 4 hours a day and they space the patients out. They've doubled up her workload to where she has 2 patients at a time right now. How insane is that? And is there more pay? No, of course not. You don't get more pay. Get it done, you know? And she has to now get in the office as early as 6 a.m. and get it done, you know, work because you've got so much work to do, all the paperwork and everything else. So once again, people are not appreciated right now in their jobs. And that's what you're going to see more of. This interest rate increase, you can say, oh, this is no big deal, Dan. It's only a quarter of a point. No, this is going to make everything more expensive. And here's the other thing I hear about doctors' offices is that these guys got PPP loans. These guys got the new refund when they got to keep employees, the $26,000 per employee. Do you think they give that to any of their employees as a bonus? Of course not. Put it in their pockets. We own the business. It's our money. Again, the heavy lifting, guys. A world without nurses is bad. Right now, here in Los Angeles, you've got a 3-day strike that's going on. That's going to end today, where these teachers are saying that they're underpaid, which they are. Okay, we all know that. But this is the wrong way to do this, in my opinion. Not the strike itself, but just the way that they've done it. They could have negotiated this at another time, and you know, these people are left high and dry with their kids not getting coverage. Now, one thing about this that is sad is in lower income communities, some of these kids do not eat at home because the parents are broke. So they go to school and eat. What happens with these programs? Now, people have said, written me and said, Dan, don't worry, these people are going to get fed. The kids are going to go to school. Do you think a kid's going to want to go to school? Hey, go to school and eat? No, I don't want to go to school. They're going to make me stay there. Okay? So it just creates nothing but chaos. Now, for those of you that have been around the channel, you've seen that I've filmed in Los Angeles a bunch of times. And crime and homelessness is an absolute disaster. There's been $17 billion raised and used in Southern California for homelessness. And you couldn't tell right now. George Gascon is the DA in Los Angeles right now. Think about this, how insane what I'm about to tell you is. He has set up a shuttle service for the district attorneys to be able to try cases and work because it's so unsafe to get to and from work. Now, for those of you that don't know where the courthouse is, it's right near the 101 freeway, right by City Hall, and right by the largest homeless festival on the planet Earth. It is horrible. And yeah, you bet it's unsafe down there. So These people have to get protected and get a ride to and from work right now because of how unsafe it is. Do you get this? You see how ridiculous what we're living through is? Is that you can't have people unsafe going to work. You can't have people that are not appreciated going to work. And again, this nurse that has done it for what, 27 years, I think that's what she told me. 27 years she's had her job, and they just don't care. They just don't appreciate her or her colleagues or anybody else. But then you hear the story out of New Jersey, and that's what they're doing to the entire industry. Something that was supported, something that was celebrated a few years back with the nursing industry is now something that, oh, they're disposable. That's horrible. But people's safety, I am telling you this, guys, right now, the one thing that you worry about is like, when I've had employees, we would have women walk to their car in good neighborhoods, okay? Just so that they would get in their car, and whatever she did after that, you're responsible for. When I had my medical conferences, I would do everything I could not to have an overnight event, for the simple fact that you don't want women showing up there that are in danger in any way, shape, or form. When I would have a mixer, okay, and I'm writing a book on this stuff right now too, but when I had a mixer, we would get invited to businesses, law firms and businesses and medical labs and things like, hey, Dan, have it here. Well, they want it there because you'll get 200 people there in a night, okay? I would go there at the appropriate time. In other words, if the event was going to be at 5 o'clock at night, I would go there at 5 o'clock at night and see what it was like and scope it out. And I would tell them, hey, this place is dangerous. What do you mean it's dangerous? Well, with the time change and cutting back the clock, I can't worry about women getting out of their car, parking at the end of that parking lot, getting over here. Oh, we've never had an issue. Well, you're great. You're never going to have one with me because we won't have it here. We had one company put up lights for that just because they wanted the event there so bad. So, common decency, guys. Thank you. We appreciate you. Paying people, giving them a little bit of money, do-re-mi, and saying thank you for your job. That's what people want. People want to be thanked. People want to be appreciated right now, and they are not. That's the worst thing about the economy right now that we're living through. And this is just the beginning of this right now, guys. Just the beginning of this. I love when I talk about a story and then you guys send me a bunch of stuff in. First things first, we've talked a lot about central banks and countries adding more gold. Spain, just added $43 million worth of gold to their reserves right now. Why, guys? Why would Spain add gold? Because they know that there's a problem coming and they're hedging their future. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get themselves protected for the future. And they feel that the best thing would be physical metals. Great. Kimberly sent me a great story about, we talked about the central bank digital currency and how Florida wants to pass a law against that. Now there's talk in the Texas State House about the same thing. Texas doesn't want to have a central bank digital currency. And again, what their discussions is that you've got rural farmers that work on cash and work on smaller businesses that they don't want to worry about some guy buying cows. Why are you buying so many cows? Why do you buy goats? Who needs 19 goats? You know what I'm saying? It's their business. It's what they do. You sure do buy a lot of fish from the fishery, whatever, okay? That's what's happening. The other thing is subscription-based models for automobiles. Think about this. Car sales are in such a rut right now. Huge problem, huge problem. BMW, Mercedes, and Volvo are all looking at how they can have a subscription service added to their cars, not just for features, but for car ownership, where you won't finance. You're just going to basically rent a car basically per the month, and you'll be able to just drive the car because they're so desperate to move more automobiles. When you read the story below, it is crazy because you've got so many issues with heated seats, different mirrors that heat, anti-fog devices, everything they want you to pay for, the better radio, the better headlights. everything that's involved in these cars that they can charge you monthly for, they want to charge you monthly for. It's insane. So I understand that part of it because, that's what they want to do. But the idea of buying a luxury vehicle is all the features to it. You can drive, an old Pinto and, have a crank up window. But what's the point of this? What's the point of driving a Volvo if you're not going to have, the heated seats and all that stuff? It makes no sense right now. So is anybody paying for anything from Tesla right now? The Tesla supercharged car, the better motor, the increased performance, all that stuff that they're charging for. This is happening over and over with more and more car companies to where you will never pay the vehicle off. If the vehicle's paid for in cash, oh, you want to use these features, you're going to pay for it forever. It's going to make older cars more desirable, but people have no money right now, so they're not going to have that. Ransomware attacks, Ferrari just got hit with a ransomware attack. Now they're saying it didn't hurt production, but it has, they have problems with their computers, and it's definitely affected Ferrari. I would like to know what the ransomware demand was for Ferrari, if anybody knows that, because it didn't say it in the story that was below. So, share your thoughts on all this stuff. Would you buy a subscription base for your car? Ferrari, just a matter of time until more and more places are hit with this. So let me know, guys. Hey guys, I'm going to finish this video with this last story, and this is serious, guys. There is a woman and her daughter that were going to buy a townhouse in Colorado. Retired teacher Vicki Regal that went out and she had her life savings, $200,000. Found the great townhouse, got a good deal on it. Her and her daughter were going to buy it, and they were all set. They go to sign the closing papers, and they said, hey, we need your money. We didn't get your money into escrow. She's like, what are you talking about? I wired it to you guys last week. Now, here's the thing, guys. She wired the money, but she wired it to a scammer. The escrow company had been infiltrated with a scam company that went and did a phishing expedition on their emails and got the names of people in escrow and said, hey, send your deposit here. And the problem with this is that they sent it. What these people do is they go out and they buy an email and create one that's very similar to the escrow company, so people don't think anything about it. And Joni at American Escrow, or whatever it is, Joni at American Escrow EZ, or whatever they do to change it. And then when they did that, they sent the money to the scammer, and these people are out their life savings of $200,000. Now, here's the thing. They're saying tough, these people are just losing everything. I really want to know if they have any recourse to the escrow company. If the escrow company fell victim to the scammers, and these people, were the victim of the escrow company's negligence. So, you guys, whenever you have a transaction of any substantial size and you're going to send anybody money, number one, I'm against that. Number one, I'm going to get your cashier's check and bring it to your office. Oh, you can wire it to us. Okay, make sure you're talking to the same person you've been dealing with the entire time, because these poor people are out their life savings. And when you see the story below, it's very sad because they have nothing for all their life's work right now. I still think there's something though, it's sad. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and take a look at our sponsor, Private Internet Access. Again, the best VPN company. I'm going to go to a meeting right now and use the VPN right after this. So onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.